Hi, welcome back to my channel. Antoinette here. So let's go through my August reflections for my tarot journaling and my cards used. I'm getting more experimental. I'm using a lot more decks. I quite enjoyed the whole use any deck you want business that I did a couple months ago rather than having set reflection decks. So let's dive straight in. I'm going to start with the Moon Diary because we're coming into September and so many of you get really disappointed when you can't get this as I start showing it in the following year. So for 2023, I already have mine. It arrived I think it arrived in July, beginning of July. Yeah, so a couple of months ago. And I pre-ordered that back in March or April time, I think, on their page. So come December, they've usually sold out and you can't get them and they don't reprint for the following year after they've sold out. So just want to warn you. So if you're after this, you need to pop across to the Etsy page, the FlickeringCauldron, and then you can get your orders in because from there they'll ship around worldwide, and that's where you can get that one. So that's enough of that one. But let me talk about August. So we have our familiar in here. We're calling him Jasper. Talks about Leo, the month of Leo, the astrological sign of Leo, because we are in August. It's predominantly a Leo sign as we enter. We have gemstones, planetary stones. We have some feather correspondences. So we're doing orange. Marjorie's come to have a sniff at what's going on. The herb was lemongrass, which is what I liked about this year's diary. I quite enjoyed these herbs, although it took me a while to get into using them. It tells us about the gender, the element, the planet, other names for it. If you work with deities that it could pertain to, and their magical properties. We have the healing properties of it and their magical uses. Now, I didn't use the edible version of the herb because, of course, you could do in your cooking always. A little bit of kitchen cooking there and incorporating its meanings. But I used it in oils for my floor washes. So I have a little set of oils and I have lemongrass in there. And that's how I incorporated it into my month. So I've written up here, just do it any deck in the monthly rotation, which means that the decks I laid out for my month to play with, any deck, every day as my daily pull, which makes it a bit more fun. You can see in here we have some information about Lammas. We have this beautiful correspondence page and even an oil recipe, decoration suggestions. So there's just so many bits of information in here if you like to honour Lammas. And then my kind of daily pulls and my expansions on what's going on. What did I do there? I actually tried to work out, there's a really complicated workings for the hours of the day, which you have to do by the sunrise, sunset, create your hours. Turned out I had a 14-hour day of sunlight, and then work out, you have to then divide them by, there's a whole mathematical calculation, basically, in order to find out what hour linked to the planet that you wanted to work with if you wanted to set an intention. Anyway, I decided to give it a go that day. It got very complicated. We had the barley full moons, correspondences to go there with it. As you can see, I carried on with my kind of general writings, and there's some lovely information here, just kind of like general warnings about magical workings and things that you may or may not know about, how to do it safely, what to avoid, pitfalls, but very basic, you know, as always, reader beware type thing. And then that was how I went through. And for the August new moon just gone, there's this beautiful cleansing bath ritual to do. So it's about making your own Epsom salts in a tea bag or reusable bag or something. I use like a kind of grocery bag with a pull string on it, in plastic. So you will need Epsom salts, lemon, lavender, rosemary and sage, and then plus or minus a red candle and clear quartz if you want them to kind of decorate your bathroom. And this is really cool. So we have the witches not spells. So anyone that loves to know what that rhyme is, it's here in the book. So by knot of 1, my spell has begun. By knot of 2, it cometh true. By knot of 3, this it shall be. By knot of 4, it is strengthened more. By knot of 5, please let it thrive. By knot of 6, this spell is fixed. By knot of 7, the stars of heaven. By knot of 8, let this be my fate. By knot of 9, let this be mine. That was in, was it a Circle of Witches? And I haven't actually written my intentions down, but I know I've done them. And then we move into September. And so I've not got many months left in this before I can get the next one out. But the monthly tabs I have bought and put into this myself. So I just grabbed those from Amazon and, you know, stick them on. They're double-sided. So that's how I've been working in there. So as I say, if you want the 2023, it's got dragons in it. So get it now. And then my normal monthly tarot journal. Let's have a look, and then we'll do all the cards at the end. Hasn't changed. I think this is probably going to be my remaining setup for I don't know how long. So there's my monthly grid, my monthly calendar with my basic card pulls and keywords. And then what this one is me expanding on my keywords in here. So when I've done my card pull, I've expanded more on the keywords from what I write on here. And then as you can see, so I have my the month, the calendar cards that I've pulled previously, so my tarot and my oracle. And let's just take a look at what we've got here. So we have 3 of air. And what I've written is it about like looking for the silver linings. There are natural departures that happen, people come and go, and also difficult conversations to be had. Always keep your eye on the truth, regardless of the temporary discomfort that may bring through the difficult conversations. Never a truer word had. That definitely happened at the start of the month, so I'm quite glad to see the back of the month, but hey. With the magical prayers, so kind of speaking your truth or your prayers, you know, surrendering your wishes, desires with your truth, okay? So not with lies or hate or vengeance, but more about that honesty factor, and then being able to kind of bring what you need to you at that point rather than sending out like negativity. And I have drawn a little gate there to represent a lion's gate and this picture here. So my week ahead, I haven't been drawing squares in, so it's just been left. I'm quite liking the spare, like blank page sometimes, even though there's a lot going on here. My week ahead's always for work, so my questions this month mostly I think have been, what will the general energy be? What do I need to be aware of? And what do I need to avoid? This ended up being a multi-layered reading. I've made a note of that here just to remind me, and then I've took a picture and I've put it over here instead, which is where I'd normally put my oracle card, and there's my oracle representation here. Although I happen to have a few more oracles in there than just that. And as you can see over here, I've kept it plain, so it's just based on colours matching my borders to go with the fiery energy of the start of the month, and my symbols. So there's no pictures over here, so that's quite a plain page. A bit more exciting over here, although if I took that away, it would still be just as good without that picture, I think. And I've drawn my dragon flower here, which is part of my spread, and I've written words into him about what he stands for. So we've got courage, taking charge, change of environment, wild growth and passion. And then I didn't leave a lot of room for my weekly reflection. So this is my weekly reflection down here. And I've just put what did the week teach me? One card, which happened to be an oracle card instead of tarot, and it was the fire festival. So I've just put what I felt that related to for my week. On the next, so Saturday, here we have just an oracle wisdom day, as I call them, my day of oracle wisdom. And we pulled the maiden, and it felt like it's all about reclaim. So that encouraged me and all the beautiful butterflies on the card to then put butterflies all over my page and stick her in. And then I've just written a tiny bit there about that for me. Here we have the Simple Sunday spread, quite clearly marked down the side there from Boho Tarot. This is what will the cycle manifest for me. I thought quite fitting because this will be the 7th of August, which Lionsgate, traditionally we call it on the 8th of August, 8th the 8th. So what will fade, what will grow, and what will shine. And there's pictures of my cards for that one. The next week ahead, my outcome has been an oracle again here, so my reflections. And I've used the Bonefire Tarot in this one, and we've gone with a kind of gold and blue feeling with a little bit of colour energy here. And then my oracle card for the week, I've drawn part of the picture onto my page. So that's quite nice. My full moon in Aquarius, again from Ethany, as always, Ethany's moon spreads. And there's my picture of my spread. Basically, if I took this off the page, this is the spread that she gives out. She does it in a beautiful format, so you could actually take what she gives you and stick it in here, but I draw them in all the time. And then we have another week ahead where I was feeling green. quite clearly, green and gold. So my page is all green and gold pretty much. And with my working week, what will the energy be? So I think I've changed it slightly. What do I need to focus my energy on? And then what obstacles do I need to be aware of this week in work? So that's my working energy week. And then my oracle for this is up here, hand fasting, unity. And I haven't put a picture of it because I've got this beautiful flower, which kind of felt it worked with all the energies of what's going on here. And then for my reflections for the week, I've used the Universal Celtic Tarot. Something stuck on there, bit of glue. So I'm back to tarot for my reflections, and then just a kind of writing on here, telling me what it is. Oh, get my words out. Okay, simple Sunday spread over here. Now this didn't happen all at once. What happened was I wanted to do journaling, so I pulled a card and drew the card onto my page. This is the Seven of Cups from the Alleyman Tarot, the one that I use. And later on I found a simple Sunday spread. What does my guiding spirit have for me today, which I've then put onto here. So we've got focus on now, affirm the positive, and speak your truth. And I've simply written my cards into the space, and as you see, I haven't put pictures in or pulled pictures or extras of them. It's just that, because I think the picture alone is pretty cool. I have something here from the Embroidered Forest. So the inner child hug. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the spread. We have what elements of my past are resurfacing now? What can I do right now to soothe my inner child? Who or what is an ally for me right now? What positive mantra affirmation is good for me? That card, number 4, was about sitting with the card and seeing what words came forwards. Now I happened to pull the Lovers card, which you can see quite clearly there. And it was a Kylie Minogue song, all the lovers that have gone before, they don't compare to you. And that was my mantra. And then number 5, what further healing must I do, or what closure can I seek? So I have the star, and with that one I've just put down find your why. Here we have a week ahead. So we've got the Bonefire Tarot on this one, and my oracle I have actually stuck in, and the outcome from the week, or my reflections. So for this I pulled 2 tarot and 2 oracle. So again, changing up a little bit, and I'm writing it down. The new moon in Virgo, so this one's not long gone by, and I've put my spread here. So for the new moon I've put down my magical intention with the Making Magic Oracle deck from Priestess Moon, and then I've put my spread, the card spread as you see it here, I've put around, and I've just taken a picture and dropped it in, and then written about it. And then basically my answer to all of that spread was focus on a plan of action. Whatever the activity, a series of do's will help the outcome. Now here we go. So I have a who the heck am I spread. This one I'm going to do today, so it's not been done yet, so I've got a page to come back and fill in, so that's great. So I don't have to worry about journaling, it's all here, I just need to write it in. And then I did connecting to your ancient ones with the Ancestral Tarot. It was a spread from the Ancestral Tarot, and that was inspired by the VR I just done recently about Ancestral Tarot decks for Clementia at her Creative Cartomancy channel. Yeah, so I've done that one, and I quite like the page actually, and I've used so I'm not going to show this deck, but I've used the Ghosts and Spirits deck here to do that Ancient One spread. Then we have my week ahead, so I'm on this right now. So we don't have a reflection because I haven't got to Friday, but we have my week ahead. So what do I expect in work this week? How can I get the most positive experiences out this week? And who can help me with any obstacles this week? So I've written those down there. Kind of my thoughts and feelings here. I happen to know that there's a new project starting. So I really wanted to be specific about some of the stuff, and I know there's going to be challenges in that new project, so this has actually kind of given me an idea of who to speak to and how to focus, because I knew it was going to be a difficult project. So this is really interesting spread for me personally. And then over here I've got my 2 oracles. So I have just put here, don't let it consume you. Take on the brighter side of life and take solace in the knowledge that you have a team helping to lead the way. So there's my kind of overthought view for all of this. And I'll just put my reflection here on Friday when I come home from work, and see how my week went. And here we have September started, ready to go. So there we are. Thank you for hanging in there. Now let's take a look at the spreads, because let's face it, that's what you're all here for, right? What should we start with? Should we do the new moon spread first? So this deck here, Making Magick Oracle, which is this one. Just trying to get into the box. Excuse me, get the card out, the book out. So I've talked about this one. There is a flip through on this one. It tells you why this deck. I got the round version because it gives you symbol history. I love to know a little bit about the history of the symbol, how she's come about them, where they've come from, manifesting your dreams and divination, and then how to kind of use the cards if you want to. So as I've said, I go through and pick the key word on these. So I'll like relax in and focus on what's going on. So if I wanted some self-confidence, because I don't know, I was going out for the first time and didn't know what to expect, then I might choose one enchanted evening there. Just trying to think what else I might choose here. And maybe I need some safe and happy travels to get there. So that would be perhaps how I'd lay them down. And then I was using The Unfolding Path by Athena Khan, or who used to be known as formerly known as the White Witch, on Etsy, and she is British based, so it's really nice to have a British based deck. And you know what, I never talked about, because I never realised there was a sticker in there, so I got deck number 191 from the Kickstarter. So here are the backs, here are the cards. Oh, got them the wrong way up. Let's get them the right way up, because the back's reversible. It's hard to tell. So it is an absolutely beautiful deck. It's kind of what I would call the modern, or a different take on the Lightseers. It has that vibe to me, very much. There is plenty of ages, body shapes, diversity is probably the word I'm looking for here, but I just love it. So that's my George Michael card. I don't know, it'll always be George Michael, but it doesn't ruin a deck, thankfully. So let's see. So I would just put my spread around this one. So we do, I think it was a 5-card spread. And this is how I would lay out my moon spread for what I needed. And, you know, then I could do my journaling and write up about it. But that's how I use this deck underneath a moon spread, just to give you an idea. And I think that was basically what I used this one for. I think I only used it the one time. It's probably going to get used a lot more next month, moving forwards, because I think it needs a little bit of time given to it. And September feels like some good energy, especially with the sunflower card sat there winking at me. So I'll show more of that one next month, I think, rather than giving too much of it out now. But you can see the flip through on my channel, absolutely. I was using these Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle a lot. Here are the backs, and we have the sides. So this one was out a lot. This was usually a sort of pull to go with my stuff, or a single card pull. And I use this quite a bit with the Alleyman Tarot and the Bonefire. So let's just get them out. So we'll do the Alleyman. I also used it in mixed readings. So get the Bonefire out for you there. And that's the Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West, the mass market version, with a beautiful book. So because this is kind of a fiery, sunny kind of energy deck for me, that's why this pairing, it was how I picked it. But I thought just generally they were like really nice. So we have the 9 of Wands with self-worship, and here we have the Six of Cups. Gets me every time. But yeah, I just felt it gave a really nice reading. So we have the Lovers with Sacrifice and the Fool. The messages were just lovely. That's a bit of an overused word here, isn't it? Three of Wands, Pegasus, card 30, and Three of Cups. Interesting. Lots of threes there. So that would just be like, pay more attention. Some message there. So here we have the Four of Wands with Orgasm, which is actually about creating stability and creation. And we have the Knight of Rings, which I think is Knight of Pentacles. So there's a lot there about sort of kind of, lots of circle energy, lots of flower energy. So that's how they were kind of reading together, and I think they were reading really well. Just trying to work out what to do here. So if I take that one away for a second, and if we just keep Bonefire, because obviously I like to do 3-card readings with these. Let's do this, shall we? Just to show you how this looks together, because some people find this a bit difficult to work with because there's too much going on, but I find it quite visually stimulating. I enjoy it, and with the black borders it separates each card from the other, so it doesn't become too much of a coloured merge or too much overwhelm. But I do really like this deck. I would love to be able to get my hands on the original in the linen finish, so I don't have this big thick glossy laminated cardstock in my hands. Or I'd really be quite pleased if they change the cardstock and bring out a new version of it, mass market, and I will definitely buy it. So that's this one. So as you can see, as a 3-card reading or even just a daily draw, there's enough to get from this deck, from the imagery. So I haven't edged it, and those are the backs. So with the Alleyman, let's come back to the Alleyman. So for the Alleyman, again, this one I'd use for my 3-card pulls. And I think it kind of surprised me. It started to give me, so whereas the Bonefire gave me a kind of broad spectrum energy, this one honed in on detail. So that was a surprise. I didn't expect to get detail from this one. It felt like this one gave detail, whereas the Bonefire was giving like a broad spectrum brush of what to kind of look out for or watch out for. And for that reason, this one did become my most used daily pull. And in the mornings, if I just wanted to then expand on a card, this would be the deck that I was using to expand on as well. So it was an interesting way to discover how to work with this deck. But yeah, it's become like a firm, definitely a firm favourite. All the different cards, all the different decks, all the different backs. Love it. What can I say? Absolutely love it. So that's this one. And then the other thing that we were doing with this was my other oracle. Let me just get into here for my spreads. And that's this one from Valencia, so the Garden of Lucid Daydreams. And I'd quite often, how am I going to do this? Right, let's do it this way. So I'd quite often do something like that for my weekly wrap-up reflections, just so you can see how everything's kind of sitting together. I just love the imagery in this one. So just gave different stories. I mean, however you choose to read this, yes, there is a snake in the grass. Yes, she's a devil, but she obviously knows what she's doing. And we are under the sunshine, manifesting, so beware what you're manifesting. Here we have 5 of Swords and the 4 of Cups. So coming forward, so I think actually that reads quite neatly in together with that sort of not recognising what you've got, being a bit of a pain in the backside, and then bringing in perhaps the wrong energy. So that perpetuating cycle of energy that you just can't shift, but you know isn't good for you. Yeah, really, really enjoy working with it. I think colour-wise, it might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I don't think it went badly. I know a few people working with the Alleyman have said the same thing. They've really enjoyed working with it. So yeah, that was good fun. Right, what do we have? I think I've got 2 decks left to talk about. That is the Universal Celtic and the Forest of Enchantment. 2 decks I discovered went beautifully together. My Forest of Enchantment has actually been edged in gold. And the Universal Celtic I haven't edged yet, but I'd actually like a really bright turquoise to go on there. Something brighter than this fronts. Yeah, maybe this colour, I think. But I haven't found it yet. So these 2 kind of spoke, I think maybe because they're in a similar energy vein to me, like feel. But they did go quite nicely together, and they wrapped up readings. So if I did the start of the week with this and wrapped up with this, that really did pair in neatly together as well. Gave a beautiful balance to the week's read. So I'm going to look here. So, oh, the other thing that you can probably, I don't know if you can see actually, on this one, I've drawn symbols onto them because the name of the deck is, the name of the card is different, so it's a cup, Visions of Cups. So I've actually drawn them onto the deck just so I can like make my way through what's going on. The Enchantress wheel kind of tells you what it is, but I've put the symbol on there anyway. Yeah, so I thought these 2 decks went beautifully together. I just had a really nice balance and read. This is perhaps a little bit more fiery and this is a little bit more earthy, but as a pair, I think just really nice. You could easily use them in a focal read. I think you could quite easily use one of these as your focus. Should we just do that a second? You could easily use one of these as your focus, and then this as your, like, what you're needing to know from that one, because you've got like dragon, so all the mythical creatures kind of throughout both decks, so it's beautiful in that respect. Yeah, so I think those ones go very nicely together. The Universal Celtic is in my Total Tarot, it's the most recent one, and you'll see the deck in there. And I can't even remember if I've done a walkthrough of this or not. I have no idea. Right, how about the Newbie thingies that I bought? I did buy a couple of things. Surprise, surprise. So I bought a Wrecking This journal because I wanted to have a look and see what's in there. But I'm as yet unsure as to whether or not I'll keep this or if I'll pass it on to one of my nieces. But I could get, because there's so many out there now. It tells you just different things to do on the pages, like crystal ball. What can you see inside the crystal ball? One for the future, one for the past. So you've got 2 there, so you can just like draw, stick, paint, anything you want. Write words, phrases, songs. There's lots of things like that to do in here, and how to just kind of get you into putting stuff on a page and not being precious about your journal, because I am definitely having precious issues about my journals. So I did pick that up for some ideas. Like I say, it might be a perfect Christmas present. This one, Syllabus by Linda Barry, I've been eyeing up for a very, very, very long time, well over a year. And I finally decided to go ahead and get it. This is her syllabus, her class and program in here. And it just, I mean, I've got it for inspiration, okay? So she's got lots of different things in here. Some of these are actual lessons for her students, and they had to actually do things, but I've used it so like where she's put pages together, drawn, written, I might actually take what she's put in here and I might transfer that into a book myself to get me into the habit of doing that. And this whole like not being perfect, and it doesn't matter if your doodles don't come out, and if you scribble on the page, just getting it down on the page and not being precious, like seriously not being precious about the book. And that's why I have this. She's got like games, activities, studies. She does give homework in here as well. But it's just, I just love the way it's kind of done. And I'm hoping, even if I just copy ideas out of the book, like whatever's going on here, if I took this and was to copy it into a book, it would just get me to put something on a page where I'm not being precious about what's going on. So these are simple activities that are worth your time. And some are drawn, some are written. So yeah, it's going to be a long-term thing, this one, but I've grabbed it for that reason. And I also have a composition notebook, and that's part of the reason why I got that, really, is because I thought it might make me less precious about actually writing in this and using it. So it's just a blank lined composition notebook. So I thought it was really pretty. They're not very expensive, but perhaps I'll actually use it now for something more than just sitting on my shelf. So those are some things that I've purchased to get me to be less precious about stuff. I have that whole paralysis problem. And then these I haven't purchased. These are just things I had already on my shelf, okay? And these are journals I need to use. And here's that paralysis problem I have. So what I've decided is this one is probably going to see me out for the end of the year with my tarot journal. So this will probably get me through to January, I hope. So that's an A5, just plain. It came from Elra here with my favourite A5 travel journal, traveller's notebook. And then when I was looking at my shelf, I found these beautiful papers. I think I bought them, I don't know, before last year, and I haven't decided what to write or do with them. But these need using. These are beautiful pages, and I really do need to put some stuff in here. So I'm going to have to work out how I'm going to use them, but without being precious about them. And I have two, because they came in a pack of two. And it's that kind of like papery. So I know I can't use fountain pen on this because it'll sink straight in. So it's going to have to be a gel pen or a biro. But yeah, I do need to work out what to do with them to make them, you know, a point to buying them. Forgot all about this one. Absolutely forgot about this one. So this might become next year's tarot journal or something. It's just beautiful pages, beautiful pages. I discovered something about myself. I don't like decorating journals. I like beautiful pages, but I don't like decorating journals. So this one has beautiful pages ready to write on. That makes my journaling process a lot simpler, a lot quicker, and a lot easier. So maybe this will become my tarot journal. I don't think it deserves a conscious stream of thought, but I think it deserves something. So no idea where it came from. I think I just got it on Amazon. Like I say, I don't even know when I bought it. It's been so long. I can't see any maker's marks, just design version 1.1. So summer pages, and I don't know what you call that. It's probably what you refer to as a B6. It's bigger than an A6, smaller than an A5. And then I have these two, which I also bought probably 2 years ago and haven't used. So these need something. And these again, look, beautiful pages ready to write on. Another potential for a tarot journal. So what would it mean when I move into these? Probably would mean that I no longer use up my stickers and washi tape, because I've got everything I need on the page. I just need to write. And I wouldn't even need to put pictures in, to be honest. Or I suppose you could over pages like that, because how do you write over a page like that and be able to read it and make sense of it? That's one of my kind of issues with these. So when you write across this, am I writing around shape, I guess? I don't know. Anyway, they came as a pack of two. And it's just the same pages in each. But I don't know if these are still available. I think you just have to keep typing in onto Amazon. Different places sell them. So these ones at the time of buying them were called European Diary Craft Paper Notebooks, Travel Brochure Handbook. The other words that went with that. Yeah, so, haha, way too long, but thank you for sitting in. Thank you for watching. I hope you've gained something from this, got something enjoyable. Do enjoy your own journaling journeys, and don't be too precious about what you write and where you put it. Have fun with it. Until the next one, take care. Bye-bye.